Thank you, Speaker. To the Premier. The people of Grassy Narrows have been told since 1970 not to eat the fish that they've relied on as a central part of their life since time immemorial, because of the mercury that was dumped in their river that makes them sick. They've been asking the Ontario government to fix it ever since. A report released earlier this week says it can be fixed, it can be cleaned, and the fish can be made safe. Many community members are here with us today. Many of the youth who have travelled 1,700 kilometres are watching today. Premier, will you look at these youth from Grassy Narrows who are sitting behind you and tell them that the rivers that make them sick today won't be cleaned tomorrow and will never be cleaned in their lifetime?
Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I know that the Minister of Aboriginal Affairs is going to want to comment on this, but I want to just say to all of the young people and the people who have travelled from Grassy Narrows that this is something that is of great concern to me and to all of our caucus, Mr. Speaker. I have been to Grassy Narrows. I have talked with people who have been affected by the mercury in the water and the fish, Mr. Speaker. I want there to be science that we can use to clean up the sediment and to clean up the water and to make sure that that ecosystem is clean, Mr. Speaker. And we have a report now that suggests that there may be a way of doing that. But the first thing the report says is we need to look at some field studies because it's not conclusive. It's not exactly clear exactly how to do that without disturbing the sediment and making the situation worse. That's the question we have to answer. I do not want to make the situation worse. I want to only work to fix it up, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker. When asked on Monday, the Premier said she hadn't read the report. On Tuesday, she said she read the report, but what the report calls for wasn't clear, even though the government has had the final report since April. On Wednesday, we learned that the Minister of Aboriginal Affairs had only received the report that day or the day before, when the government has had it since April. The minister has called the science of the report new. This is not new science. In fact, it's been done in a number of communities across this province for decades. So let's be clear. Enhanced natural remediation is possible. Again, I ask the Premier, will you tell the young people of Grassy Narrows when this government will start the remediation?
Thank you.
The environment and climate change.
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Premier.
The environment and climate change.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Through you to the member opposite and to our good friends in the gallery, we are past the idea of doing more studies to look at the problem. We are now looking very specifically, working with Grassy Narrows First Nation and the federal government to figure out exactly what do we have to do. It's a complex range of sources there in Clay Lake and on the river, and there's sediment and there's atmospheric issues and there's ambient levels of methyl hydrate and mercury. We are going to work very closely through the working group that has been established to ensure that we have proper solutions. The current situation is unacceptable, but we have to make sure, as the Premier said, that we're undertaking efficient, near-term action consistent with the leadership and desires of the community and on good science that will actually solve the problem and not make it worse. I find it unacceptable. I will not see this continue on my watch, Mr. Speaker.